Good evening. So 3 names here. 2 of them we kind of have an idea. They've come up before. What are these people alleged to have done?
Exactly. So let's just start off with Hlengani Mathebula, who is the Chief Officer of Governance and International Relations, as well as he deals a lot with communications within SARS. Teboho Mokoena, who's the Chief Officer for Human Capital and Development, and Lebelo, who is the Group Executive for Employer Relations. And I must just add that this is really big news, given the fact that 2 of these names, Hlengani Mathebula and Lebelo, constantly came out throughout that SARS inquiry that was headed up by Judge Robert Nugent. But SARS seems to have placed them on precautionary suspension. That's to take effect immediately. And they're saying that they want to reiterate that these suspensions are precautionary in nature and has so much to do with the amount of findings and wrongdoing on their part. And this all has to do with, some of the recommendations that came through from the Nugent Commission, that final report. Unfortunately, it was a while back, so I can't really remember exactly what was mentioned about those 2 individuals. But during their cross-examination throughout that commission of inquiry, they were really put in the hot seat about their conduct being the fact that they are group executives and they are the head of those specific departments. So it's a very big move by the new SARS Commissioner.
I was just going to say him, him whose name also is, a little cloudy at the moment.
Yes,
also,
exactly. So it's a big move for SARS to do this. Of course, they're taking the recommendations by the Nugent Commission. One always asks the question, what happens after these inquiries that are taking place in the country? And now you're actually seeing it come into play. You're seeing the Revenue Service taking these recommendations seriously. And even though it's precautionary suspension, they're taking those allegations very seriously and they're trying to establish what is really going on.
Okay, so are we expecting that there might be any more? I mean, do you recall that there were other names maybe that came up in the Nugent Commission that there might be more to follow after this?
There were lots of names.
Yeah, there were lots.
But let's just quickly discuss, some of the things that were brought up, for example, when it relates to Lebelo. He was one of those that were accused of signing off on very high transactions within SARS and not accounting for it. So the judge would say, but why did you sign off for that person to be paid out to leave SARS without following proper processes? And he struggled to answer that. Eventually, he reached a point where he said he felt as though he was being vindicated and he was being humiliated by the SARS inquiry because of the questions that were being posed to him. Also, Lebelo is the guy that allegedly used over 700,000 rand of SARS's money to get legal representation to help him in the SARS inquiry. That was, of course, also another big issue. Why were you using SARS money to represent you in this case? Yeah. Of course, he denied that and he said that that was the invoice he was given, and he obviously tried to contest that. But that was one of the allegations. When it comes to Hlengani Mathebula, he is the guy that says Tom Mokoena gave him a hit list. And said that you need to deal with certain people and you need to make sure that you push them out of SARS. If I can just quote, he says, I wasn't comfortable to investigate people without any information and simply being given names. Mokoena came to me with names of people he wanted me to appoint in positions. I had discomfort around the process that I could just appoint them. The commissioner was unhappy about that. And that's when that relationship became very strained, because he says then his life started to be threatened because he wasn't listening to Mokoena's requests.
Okay, well, we'll let you go and dig deeper and get back to those Nugent Commission or reports findings. And we'll hear more from you in the coming days. Thank you very much, Hadi Jokos, just bringing us up to speed there. That breaking story this hour, it is the Revenue Service suspending those 3 key executives.